Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the ARL Super Trucks Championship here at the Hockenheim Ring. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Jack with Mark Bobineri in the production booth, and you're here watching Apex Racing TV.
Well, I appreciate the attempt at the second name, Austin, but we move on swiftly. It is your favorite series of all time on Apex Racing TV, the ARL Super Trucks Championship. And we're here at Hockenheim, but not just any layout of Hockenheim. It is the Hockenheim Short A layout, which basically means it's a giant arena. After turn 1, we cut off to the right-hand side, cut straight across on an escape road into the arena section, the stadium section that you all know and love. If you thought Okayama lines were good, well, you're in for a treat tonight.
Yeah, precision German engineering lines will be used here, so if you see that track map, completely ignore it. A lot of these corners will not be used, and it is going to be insane. Just going to look at our championship standing. Sam Fitzpatrick rigging the entire thing and leading the championship right now at 165 points. Ahead of Andy Thompson with Tom Birmingham in 3rd place, Sebastian Deltweiler and Alex Roggenbuck in the pro standings. And in the amateur class, I believe our 2 amateur drivers, that is from the Formula V series, and Prada still leading that championship by 84 points. That dude is insane. But yeah, we look out onto track right now. Andy Thompson, I believe, is leading that amateur championship.
Yeah, he did. He took a win in the second race, of course, but thankfully, thanks to the amazing racing last, we've got a bigger grid tonight. We've got 9 trucks on the grid tonight, and of course, with the super trucks, of course, we have everybody out on the circuit at the same time for qualifying, and you'll get an idea now of the layout that we are going to be using. You can see a couple of drivers there. You got Andrew Thompson. We're going to ride on board with him now. You see him defined by the pink roll cage. In front of him is Tom Bingham with the yellow roll cage. Through turn 1, you can't use a lot of that off track right there, but you'll see now we're going to get on the brakes and fling it to the right hand side and try and cut up and use all the grass there, and then we're cut across through the middle of the circuit right now. Not a layout that's used too often, but will then appear towards the stadium section in just a moment's time. It's going to get really narrow here, flick it to the left, and then back to the right-hand side once again, and a big send-it corner around to the right-hand side here, and all of a sudden, there's the stadium section right in front of you. So you can see the layout that we're using. It's absolutely perfect, and all I can say is get ready for some of these lines you're going to see in just a second's time. Some drivers are going to use the inside grass maybe towards the end. Sometimes not as crazy as the lines we saw in Okayama, but it seems in some cases.
They had to have these laps count, so they're avoiding the off tracks right now. But during the race, these lines that you're seeing them take are not going to be the lines they're going to be taking. And in practice, we were seeing drivers completely murder turn 1. It has that giant curb on the inside of these trucks, just absorb that curb. So curb fast time, St. Fitzpatrick 15:068, as everyone else is coming across the line right now. Times are going to be pretty close here because, well, actually no, they're going to be pretty spread out. Sammy boy, it's a bit wild through there. Yeah, heading into this section, we're seeing cars go completely onto the grass and stay off the tarmac, and they don't even attempt this turn in the race. This turn was going to be the least used turn piece of tarmac on the track right now.
Yeah, what the driver's doing right now is luring us into a false sense of security, because we can assure you they have not used that tarmac once in practice, so they're going to be using all the grass and more in the race, on that inside of this corner especially as well. This is Dean Powell, new driver in the series as well, who's joined us, and great to see him out on the circuit as well. A couple more new drivers as well that have hopped in after last week to try and displace Sam Fitzpatrick from the top of the standings. There's Jackie Chalmers, new driver as well. Great to have them along as well in the 212 machine. And the man who was fastest in practice, believe it or not, Mark Churchill, the German who joins us here at the ARL Super Trucks.
Yeah, home track, then that German Vale car. I called him the Terminator last time because the front of his truck actually looks like the Terminator in a way. I'm crazy like that, but it does kind of have that little robot T500 look to it. So, you know, looks cool. He's currently sitting in 4th place, so he's going to have to really ring it in there. But he is currently the top of the amateur class, and whoa! Jackie already expanding the track limits and getting a use for that gravel.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to give you an idea, by the way, now that these guys are running the proper track, they're in the 115s. They're in the 112s in practice, so that just shows you the difference that just completely ignoring the track makes. All four with Alexander Rocket, a big heap of understeer through there. Not uncommon in these super trucks. Of course, this is the light version of the super trucks, and not as much power than the others, but it's rear-wheel drive and loads of fun to drive at the same time. It's come into the hairpin now. You can see just trying to get the rotation on there. Churchill's on his tail, and he's going to try and make his way past his German counterpart, and does so with relative ease right there. And Churchill was half a second quicker than anybody in practice, so he's a debutant in the series, but certainly making an impression early on. Gets his way through the last corner, drifts all the way out to the curb on the left. Let's see what Churchill's able to do. As you can see, Powell going right the way out in the background. Churchill does a 15.600, but still nobody able to get close to Sam Fitzpatrick apart from Tom Bingham.
That times here in the 15 seconds. Times in practice were down in the 12s. 1 minute, 12 seconds are going to be the times that we're going to be seeing. And we got a question in chat. Is there ever going to be a 4-wheel drive truck series? Well, I have to guarantee you this is a 4-wheel drive truck series. Just not on dirt. They will be going on dirt.
Yeah.
Pro 4 trucks are 4-wheel drive.
These are two-wheel drive, Austin.
Oh.
Oh, there. Yeah, these
no, yeah, these are the lights.
Rear-wheel drive. Yeah, these are the lights. So the lights are the rear-wheel drive, and then the normals. There's the line from Jackie Chalmers that we wanted to see. Expect that in the race. Not just ignore the track completely. You don't need it on the inside. Off tracks turned off, of course, for the race. Not in qualifying though. You got to set a representative time. But now, some guys are just getting used to running the actual race lines. You can see you can just totally ignore that middle sector and not get a slowdown at all. Here's Tom Bingham, who pushed Sam Fitzpatrick all the way in the last race, in heat race number 3 in Hockenheim. If you did miss that race, of course, you can check it out on the channel, and it was a crazy finish. Tom Bingham, though, still trying to get himself a win here. It comes across the start-finish line now, and begins another lap of 14.8, the fastest time so far from Tom Bingham, and now goes in for the Sam Fitzpatrick by just over a tenth of a second, just under 0.2 of a second, 14.879 for Tom Bingham, and Sam Fitzpatrick about on an outlap as well, as is Dean Powell, Mark Churchill, then Chadwick, Detweiler, Thompson, and Roggenbuck, who have set times at the moment. So really good stuff from these guys. Andrew Thompson, he is, of course, trying to get himself a little bit of a faster time, trying to get in front of Sebastian Detweiler. And I think this week's going to be really exciting because we've now got 8 trucks, well 9 trucks I think we've got actually, and we saw how good it was with 5. Imagine this with 9, what it's going to be like.
Double the cars, double the fun, double the action here at Hockenheim Ring, and I gotta tell you, I'm really looking forward to this. But Tom Bingham might be a bit worried because historically, in all 3 of the races, all 3 of the rounds we had at Okayama last time by, the Polster always had the worst start. Whenever we got to turn 1, they were never in the lead coming out of it in every race. Sam Fitzpatrick, race number 1, dog of a start, and I believe it was Alexander Roggenbuck on the front row every time, and didn't have the greatest starts as well. So Tom looking to break the mold right there if he gets to stay on pole position, but he's currently 0.2 up on Sam Fitzpatrick, and we currently look at everybody else on track. Jackie Chalmers goes into 7th place with a 1:16.8. And remember, these guys are just following the track right now. They're trying not to get an off track. They're trying to get a time onto the board. And it's going to be all-out chaos. The order is flipped after race 1. It's flipped again after race 2. We got a 5-minute warm-up in there. So this is the only grid that they are really racing for. But I can tell you, this is not the order that they're going to finish. And we've already been listening to Andrew Thompson saying, I'm going to be causing a massive pileup at turn 2. And just expect this track to be extremely dirty after 2 laps here.
Yeah, Sam Fitzpatrick we're looking at right now, leaning on the car on the way into the stadium section right now, looking neat and tidy. And, well, I think this is actually the most we've seen Sam Fitzpatrick stay on the road since Okayama. Into the hairpin he goes. And, of course...
I've seen any of these drivers stay on the road.
Yeah, I think particularly Sam Fitzpatrick, because he was never on the road. He was, you think about the front straight, he was on the grass the whole way down. So expect more of that from Sam tonight. Mark Churchill into 3rd.
He was just going down the tires.
Yeah, that was his excuse anyway. On the way down to the straight right now, really tidy lap from Sam Fitzpatrick. Let's see what it's going to be as he comes across the start-finish line of 15.136. Does not improve on his time, and he will not get pole position. So Tom Bingham is on pole then for heat race number 1. Then after that, of course, we have the inverted grid. But here's the grid for heat 1. It's Tom Bingham and Sam Fitzpatrick on the front row. Then Mark Churchill in P3. Dean Powell lines up in 4th. Dave Chadwick in P5. Then Sebastian Detweiler, Jackie Chalmers, Andy Thompson, and Alex Roggenbuck. 9 trucks here lining up, heading towards turn number 1, and 15 minutes for the first race. Then the next heat, of course, with the top 6 inverted, and then they're inverted once again for the final race. So, well, we've taken plenty of drinks and fluids on board before we got into this, Austin, because we're going to be dead by the end of this one.
Yeah, we are certainly going to be, it's going to be a stressful on our bodies and these drivers' bodies and the body panels. And I hope y'all are ready for this. 5 red lights are coming on. It's time to get wild here in Germany. The ARL Super Trucks are go, go, go. And away we go, and probably the world's slowest start off the line. It seems like a slow start, but everybody just certainly bogged down right there. Bingham leads into Fitzpatrick. They immediately cut across turn 1. These are the lines you expect from ARL Super Trucks. Fitzpatrick getting a good run on Bingham. Bingham heading into turn 2. Watch out for that blue cone. It's going to get absolutely murdered by Sam Fitzpatrick as they cut the track immediately. As they're all going over the tarmac, trying to use that as a little bit of grip. Here comes Sam off the track, and it goes down onto the inside. But he's going to be onto the outside right now as we head into dangerous turn 3. Sam Fitzpatrick getting onto that early lead into the grass, and right down to the apex. Here they go, cutting the track completely, getting onto that tarmac, getting gripped up, and watch out. Here comes Powell on the back of Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, really good start from everybody right there. You can see now the line's beginning to be run. There goes Fitzpatrick, going to take the shorter line on the inside. So now there's 2 different lines being formed. And he tries to come underneath the Bingham all the way to the grass. He's having none of it and stays in front. Mark Churchill slots up the 3rd right now. As Powell, look at the jump over the curves. Look,
this is a Baja race. What is this line?
Look at that from Fitzpatrick, and now Thompson with the faster line around the corner. Fitzpatrick leads. Churchill up the 3rd. They're all out in the gravel in the background there.
Here comes Tom.
Yeah, Roggenbuck was in the grass right there, and he's all the way. Sorry, that was Thompson in the barrier, but Fitzpatrick with Bingham right now. These guys were fighting hard last week, and once again they're going to fight hard for this one. On board with Tom Bingham now as he chases down his old rival, Sam Fitzpatrick. There goes the cone once again. Little tap in the rear from this one, but these lines are actually even crazier somehow than Okayama. Fitzpatrick cuts the inside as they head up to the next corner right now, and you'll see them cut across. They'll just ignore this next section. To the grass they go now, and Fitzpatrick trying to get the rotation on the truck right there. Does so there. Really tricky to try and keep the rotation going. Fitzpatrick very wide all the way out to the wall on the left, and here comes Bingham now with the run on the exit. He's got the inside surely. Will he go for the short line? Fitzpatrick he taps him. He tags him on the inside. Bingham not running that grassy line, and Bingham going to try and get the run on him here as they come around the next section. Side by side, Fitzpatrick goes to the grass, as does Bingham, jumping over the top of the curbs right there. Bingham up the inside, going to use the pit lane inside, nearly into pit lane. Still side by side. Fitzpatrick though leads after lap 2. There's going to be non-stop to the finish between these two.
There are multiple lines that they're taking. Sam likes taking that inside apex line in the final corner and the inside line in the stadium section, and Tom does not like doing that. We saw him actually hesitate to take that line that Sam was doing into the final corner, which is a great move to get speed off the exit. If he can't get clear Sam's bumper, he might take that wider line again and keep that top speed. But it just shows you Hockenheim, a completely different beast to Okayama from what we saw. This track provides it all. Massive spaces for massive truck racing, and this piece of tarmac right here, we saw Sam get a bad grip up right there, slowed him down, and Tom's right on his tail. Are we going to be seeing Tom take that apex line? Sam going way off the track, and Tom gets him a block.
Oh, beautiful overtake from Tom Bingham. Fitzpatrick was way too sendy into the hairpin right there, and he picks up the pieces now. What do they do? Over the jump, Churchill reluctant to use that line as Fitzpatrick with a massive dive up the inside, and he gets in front, but Bingham gets him back again on the way out of the corner, and Mark Churchill he's watching in the wings right now, just watching what's going on in front of him. These guys are breaking away from the guys behind. Powell in 4th, Chadwick 5th, Detweiler, Chalmers, Thompson, Roggenbuck as Fitzpatrick looks up the inside through turn 1. There's no way through from yet, but you can see the times. Look at that, they're already in the 112s compared to the 114s in qualifying. Yeah, that poor cone on the inside is having a terrible time tonight, but Tom Bingham leads after they come onto lap 4. Fitzpatrick takes to the tarmac this time, and let's see what lines they're going to run. This is fabulous. This is almost like we don't know what lines they're going to run each time, flicking it into the next corner.
Baja racing on iRacing.
This is Baja racing on iRacing as they come around.
And as somebody who's done Baja in real life for 3 straight years, I can tell you, it is crazy from start to finish, and there's not usually this much tarmac being used, but you can see Sam Fitzpatrick going for that alternate line way up to the inside. Watch him slow up right into Tom. Tom gets into his bumper, but with the overspeed, Tom Bingham takes back the lead. Sam Fitzpatrick getting a little bit out crazy right there. He's up onto the inside. Tom going onto the outside right now. Here comes Sam with the big run up onto the apex. Tom has to get onto the race. He's going to use that pit lane to grip right back up. They're side by side coming off the exit. Sam and Tom are both into the gravel. Mark Churchill's right there in third. 1, 2, 3, bumper to bumper to bumper. This is truck racing.
That was brilliant from Sam Fitzpatrick to recover from that. I think that's what they call always in dirt, always throwing a slider up the inside. And now Bingham tries, and look, he locks it up on the way through, and he forces him wide. And Bingham goes through on the way on the inside. Good move from Tom Bingham, and Churchill is watching. He's trying to copy these guys. He was fastest in practice, don't forget. And they've broken away from everybody behind them as they enter now into Sector 2. Fitzpatrick right up underneath Bingham here. Churchill getting a great view of this as they come into the stadium. And then Fitzpatrick now bangs doors, and they make contact the way through. Look at Churchill as they come into the stadium section. They're nearly three abreast. They rub doors. As they come down the hairpin, they're rubbing doors again into the hairpin. And Bingham gets up the inside again. Fitzpatrick uses the tarmac this time, and Churchill's got him up the inside. And Dean Powell now closes up to the bottom, so Fitzpatrick gets done over. And here comes that Fitzpatrick line, which Churchill does this time. But Bingham with a massive overspeed around the outside. They all check up, and Bingham retakes the lead again.
Bingham, Churchill, and Fitzpatrick all took exactly the same line. Powell was the only car not to take that line. And that final sector is just so crazy to get because it's such a tight corner. It's a reducing radius corner. If we take that line and we just draw a line to there, it's like a teardrop, basically. So they have to slow up a lot. And Fitzpatrick gets tagged hard by Powell. Big contact by Dean Powell into the back of Sam Fitzpatrick. Let's take a replay on board of Dean Powell. He got a lot of speed coming out of turn 1. Heading into turn 2, everybody get on the brakes. It's a little bit too much, and pow! Into Sam Fitzpatrick.
Oh, that was, he was never going to make that corner, was he? No. Really too much speed going in there. Now the front of the truck is missing off of Dean Powell. Oh, Chalmers up in a big way on the way out of into the stadium, and that is going to be a terminal issue for Jackie Chalmers, who rolls at the truck coming into the next section. I think onto the grass they go, taking the line over the grass again. Did they drift out to the wall? Yeah, they tag the wall, and then it just rides up the wall and rolls it in a big way for the 212 of Jackie Chalmers, and they end up back in pit lane after that roll. But
that is not the way you want to debut.
No, not a good way to debut. As Fitzpatrick now under pressure with Detweiler, gets up his inside now, possibly carrying some rear damage here. Fitzpatrick gets into the rear of Detweiler at high speed through turn 1, but Sebastian Detweiler gets through now. But now it's Bingham, Churchill, Chadwick, your top 3, and Chadwick was the fastest man on the circuit just a while ago, but they're 4.4 seconds back. So Bingham with Churchill behind him now on the charge. But what a shame for Sam, just got unlucky there, getting tagged and around by Dean Powell. Nothing really he could do about that halfway through the race. Right now we get a little break in the action for a few minutes.
Yeah, Sam, a little break. That was just a second of a break. Thank you for just letting me allow to breathe for 1 second. Fitzpatrick getting into the back of Detweiler right now as they head into the arena section right now. These two, they're behind Chadwick, and David Chadwick, the Canadian up there, the only North American driver in this series. Come on, North America, we need more drivers here. Happening in, and you're going to see everybody out of the distance heading into that line, and Zarchel gets in a big hit right there, and he pretty much, well, you've heard of a slide jump, but that's pretty much a dump and run by Mark Churchill, the German, into the lead in front of his home crowd at his home track. And I gotta be honest, this place has a little bit of German engineering to it in this series. You know, the Germans always like efficiency, and the most efficient line is the shortest line around here, and that's what they love this truck series for. They ignore the roads, they just take the shortest route. It's German efficiency, baby.
Yeah, and you can see German up in first and in fourth. Roggenbucker ways off the back in P8, but you can see Detweiler and Fitzpatrick are closed up to the back of David Chadwick here as they enter the section on the grass, and Fitzpatrick looking for a cut-back line, not quite able to get up underneath him there on the grass, and into the stadium they go again. Fitzpatrick just feathering that throttle on the way through, maybe just gripped up a little bit too much on the way into the stadium, lost a tiny bit of momentum coming through. It's all about momentum with these trucks. They don't have a lot of power to drag themselves out of the corners, so you gotta try and minimize the wheel spin as much as you can, not over rotating through the corners. Over the jump they go into the last 2 corners. Churchill opens the gap to 1.3 seconds now. Fitzpatrick trying to get up underneath Detweiler, can't quite get up alongside, tries to get the speed out, can't quite get it though. Detweiler grips it up on the way out nicely, and in now lap 9 they begin. 10 minutes gone this race, 5 minutes to go. Churchill and Bingham quite close up front as they come through the first corner once again. Mark Churchill looking for a debut win. Fitzpatrick going to use way out to the grass. Is he going to try and carry the speed on the inside? Fitzpatrick line once again on the inside, grips it up on the grass, gets up alongside the car of Sebastian Detweiler. Detweiler takes to the grass. Fitzpatrick's still there, and he gets cut off on the inside though. Detweiler managing to carry the speed on the exit, and now they enter into the right-hander, and once again Fitzpatrick trying to carry some speed on the inside. He has managed it this time though, and looks up the inside of the stadium section. That's going to be a nice overtake if he can stick it up the inside. He can, and Fitzpatrick's going to have to close this door though into the hairpin, and he does manage to keep that space, and he holds on into P4 versus Sebastian Detweiler. Look up front, Churchill now under massive pressure from Tom Bingham.
Over the jump they go, and I love how this track has a unintentional jump in the off-track. We're even more into super truck territories. iRacing already has the jumps. These trucks are just finding it right there. Sergio and Bingham. Sergio, the amateur, is leading this race right now, and he's got Tom Bingham right behind. And notice how the lines have actually changed now for the start of this race. In the arena section, that giant baked turn, we used to be seeing everybody going on all the way, hugging that inside line. Now they're just staying on to the tarmac because they know they're carrying more speed into that final turn. Bingham goes wide. Sergio goes on to the outside. Now Sergio back into the lead. Bingham had the lead just sideways just a little bit earlier. They're going to be side by side heading into this right-hander right now. Just getting all the way to that green apex. Bingham up onto the inside, getting up onto that tarmac, being very smooth, gripping up right there, and Bingham's got the lead right back. And we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers use that tarmac and be more cautious heading onto there and getting more grip heading into that corner.
Yeah, so less and less use of the grass on the inside on lap number 1. Of course, the track was not rubbered in. Now it's rubbered in, so it's a little bit quicker, but up and over the jump again. They go into the last 2 corners, and Bingham holds on to the lead for now. Mark Churchill still on his tail, though, and Chadwick and Fitzpatrick are closing in on them. So Fitzpatrick is caught up to Chadwick in the background. You can kind of see that black truck in the back is Sam Fitzpatrick as they come across the start-finish line, but Tom Bingham trying to hang on. He hasn't won in the series yet, but he's on course to do that in heat race number 1. Remember, the top 6 are inverted for race 2, and it's all about being P6 is currently Dean Powell reverse grid pole position, as Chadwick really taking a very tight line on the grass right there, and that cone once again comes a cropper as a result of these big trucks. And Fitzpatrick trying to get himself onto the podium here. He is on the podium in the pro class anyways, but he wants to get it overall. Tom Bingham trying to keep Mark Churchill behind. They're both trying to get their first wins in this series. Round into the stadium section they come once again, and Bingham trying to hang on versus the German debutant here at home in Hockenheim. And it's going to be quite close at the finish right now. Fitzpatrick in front of Chadwick. He's got it done. Look at the background. He throws the slider. He throws the slider on the inside. And Fitzpatrick side by side with Dean Powell as they come over the jump now. Fitzpatrick is in front as they come through over the jump into the right-hander. Once again, the slider jump for Fitzpatrick making itself useful as Detweiler tries to get through on Powell, Chadwick, sorry, and he gets it done. That wasn't Dean Powell, sorry, that was Chadwick side by side over the jump. And Fitzpatrick up to 3rd right now, and they should have 2 laps to go across the line.
Fitzpatrick using that arena cut that we were talking about not being used a lot, but it's so good at overtaking, especially if you know how to throw that block. And they've cut this track so many times that blue cone is not spawned in anymore.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, blue cone. You will be missed. You can buy your blue cone memorial t-shirts at shop.apextv.com. Detweiler getting into the bumper of the 162 with Chadwick. He's going to try to swing onto the outside right now, carry that inside line. Are we going to be seeing Sebastian try to take that very big cut on Chadwick now? Into the
Yeah,
brakes that we go. No.
Ooh, a little bit of a look from Detweiler there, but not enough to get through. This should be the final lap as they come across the line right now. As we see Tom Bingham now trying to keep Mark Churchill behind him here. Round the last corner they come, white flag in the air. There's Barney leaning over to wave the white flag for heat race number 1 in the ARL Super Truck Series. And Bingham leads by 1.5 seconds over Mark Churchill, over Sam Fitzpatrick. Chadwick there, and Fitzpatrick dips into the 1:11s, 0.9 from Fitzpatrick. That's faster than practice that he's gone right there. So Sam Fitzpatrick has got the pace. Pity he got tagged around. Once again demolishes the blue cone and carries on his charge. But he's going to get P3 if he hangs on right now. But he's 1.5 seconds quicker than everybody else in front of him. So Sam Fitzpatrick will be on a charge in race 2. But Tom Bingham is clinging on for dear life here. Not quite as close to finish as we had, of course, last week at Hockenheim in heat race number 1. But that's not to say that it won't happen in heat race number 2 and heat race number 3. There's 3 races in this series. Every single time Fitzpatrick's getting close, isn't he? In the background on Churchill. He's not far off.
Zarchel is 1 second ahead, but that second is dropping. There goes Salmon for the slide jump on Zarchel into the arena. It was a total last lap chance move right there from Sam Fitzpatrick. It's not going to pay off. Bingham's truck is bouncing in over end right now as he grips it up into the final corner, and he's going to take his first win here in the ARL Super Truck Series. Tom Bingham wins heat number 1 with Sergio in 2nd place and Sam Fitzpatrick in 3rd, followed by Chadwick in 4th and Detweiler in 5th place. And Powell's car is, he's soaking this one in.
Yeah.
Is he going to finish in reverse?
He's crawling pretty slowly across the line.
Is this engine done?
Has he blown his engine or has he run out of fuel? Is my next question.
I think his
like
engine's
fuel.
Yeah. Oh, this is oh, he's not going to finish!
Oh no, it's Andy, push him across. Oh, push him across. There you go.
Thompson gets some 6th place. Powell chokes it at the line. I think he was trying to just like say, I'm going to get this right before you, but no. Powell tried to just like, he tried to cheese it for 6th place, but it's going to be Andrew Thompson stealing 6th place, and now he's going to be starting up on pole. What is this series? Heat 1 results. Bingham, Sergio, Fitzpatrick, Chadwick, Detweiler, Thompson, Powell, Roggenbuck, and Chalmers are top 9. And now, our grid. Andy Thompson cheeses it for pole ahead of Sebastian Detweiler, Dave Chadwick, Sam Fitzpatrick, Bart Sergio, Tom Bingham. Dean Powell hopefully will not do that again in the end of the race. He is be starting in 7th place, followed by Roggenbuck and Jackie Chalmers, who I believe has fitted some anti-roll bars to their car and maybe some training wheels.
Yeah, seems like I'm going to need some stabilizers on these ones. Here we go then. Heat race number 2 is gridded up, and we are ready to go for the second race of the night, the reverse grid. Top 6, Thompson on your right, Detweiler on your left, and away we go once again with the world's slowest start off the line. Thompson gets away quite well this time, as does Detweiler. Chadwick gets away well in P3 as well. Fitzpatrick slots to 3rd. Chadwick trying to get in front of Detweiler here as they come round. Turn 1 for the first time. Big bounce from Thompson over the inside curb, and Fitzpatrick slotting to the inside now, trying to follow through Detweiler on the inside. Chadwick tries to shut the door. Thompson gets loose on the way through. There's a big stack on the inside. And we have somebody upside down. Powell's rolled it in the back and gets back on his wheels and gets back going again. Chalmers involved for a 2nd time tonight. Thompson in front though. Chadwick following him through in P2 as they come across the grass section for the first time. Detweiler back up the inside, big bangs the door and forces his way through. Fitzpatrick goes through past Chadwick as well. Big stack up as they come to the middle sector, and there's almost a spin in the middle as well as Chadwick nearly gets turned by Churchill. And you can see now Fitzpatrick trying to get through past Detweiler, but Thompson's built a small lead as they battle hard behind. Nobody going for the inside line yet. Nobody taking the Fitzpatrick slider line early on.
Got no one to go for the Fitzpatrick side. Heading into there, but they're all taking sector 3 except for Thompson. Thompson's taking the regular track. Here comes Fitzpatrick, Chadwick, and Sergio down there. We're right in front of Thompson, and Thompson gets into the back. Fitzpatrick, we got a car in the wall. Bingham's in the wall. It's on his side. Bingham's on his side. Oh my goodness, Bingham just looks like his car just wouldn't turn, and he's turtling right there. Oh. No.
from glory to the wall for Tom Bingham as Chadwick throws a big move on Sam Fitzpatrick on the inside, locks it all up. Fitzpatrick though carries speed on the outside this time, side by side through the middle sector for the second time. 15-minute race, and Fitzpatrick slots in front just about, but Bingham went into the wall hard in the last corner and he's towed back to pit lane, couldn't get that car righted again. Fitzpatrick sliding it in as now you can see Churchill looking up the inside of Chadwick, up the inside, can't quite do it as they come into the middle sector again now, into the stadium section. But Thompson, 9/10 of a second clear. Fitzpatrick, you can see behind Chadwick, Churchill, Detweiler with a bit of front end missing off the car right there as they come through the middle sector right now. Look, you see the front end missing off of the big tank slapper from Detweiler way out onto the grass, and Roggenbuck says thank you very much, I'll take that position. And you can see up the front now.
Broken it away. I'm not sure that series right there, but something's wrong with Detweiler's car. Thompson into the side of Chadwick, got the overspeed, but Thompson's out into the wall right now. Chadwick now has got the speed on Thompson. Sergio is right there, 113 from Sam Fitzpatrick. He's like, keep on fighting, boys. I want this lead to come to me. Chalmers with the 113, Powell in the 112s. And, almost side by side, heading into turn 2. And Thompson looking on to the inside of Chadwick now.
Fitzpatrick's 2.2 seconds up the road.
Chadwick and Thompson are really letting Fitzpatrick have this one right now because they are going for guts and glory right now. Here comes Sergio in the background on Thompson.
Big slide there from Thompson way out wide, nearly into the concrete wall, and here comes Churchill. He doesn't need a second invitation to have a go. Goes onto the grass this time, side by side of the hairpin, and gets the block on him done by Andrew Thompson as they come into the hairpin. Big wide moment for David Chadwick as they come on the exit right now. It'll be side by side with Churchill. Chadwick has to try and get the power down over the jump, gets a bit loose over the jump that time, but manages to hang on to the car. Thompson hangs on to his position as well as side by side now. Powell is on charge. Detweiler trying to hit the apex and gets a block on right there. Does a good job. Fitzpatrick 3.2 seconds out in the lead right now as another shuffle for position in the back. You can kind of see that was Powell trying to get through, and Detweiler couldn't quite do it though. But Fitzpatrick is flying away from them. There's nobody can get to him as Thompson has a little look right there. The attitude of the truck is really aggressive from Thompson. Gets into the back of Chadwick right there, but no way through for him. They're letting Fitzpatrick have this one. He is gone and away up the front.
There is one truck ahead of Fitzpatrick. Tom Bingham is back out on track right now. So Fitzpatrick, if he catches up to Tom might give Fitzpatrick a little bit of fun. Look at this. Thompson gets turned sideways in the rally section of this course. Is that what we're calling it? The rally section? I'm not sure. I know it's like turn 3 or 4, but no, it's just off-roaded. Speaking of off-roaded, Dave Chadwick going that tighter line into the apex, but here comes Sergio on that faster speed line up onto the inside, heading into the final quarter. He actually gets onto the binders right there and just tries to control his car more off the exit to get that speed right for him into that final corner. Churchill knows how to get around here. Chadwick really risking it as you can see all the dirt and dust flying up into the air right now. I hope you brought your goggles and maybe a face mask or something, because there's a lot of air particles out there.
There is certainly. Look at that from Powell pushing Detweiler through turn 1. And still no way through for Dean Powell just yet, trying to find some space to get through past Detweiler. This might be his opportunity now. Detweiler gripping up too much on the exit right now. Now he's found an inside line on the grass. Here comes Dean Powell on the outside, but this will switch to the outside for this long grassy corner coming up in just a second's time. Powell trying to control the truck here on the outside. He's going to get the block put on him by Detweiler, though no way through for him at all right there. Detweiler defending very nicely in that truck, and you can see Roggenbuck just up in front as well, getting a bit loose, gripping up that truck. And here comes Powell now. He's found an inside line on the exit though for the hairpin. Big lunge up the inside, goes for the slider line on the inside this time, and Detweiler trying to not too slow. You've really got to commit on that slider line. You got to carry basically all the speed, not even brake, and hope to God you slow down.
Hope to God you slow down. Maybe if you slide out, give the bumper to the nose of the car that you're trying to overtake. Give them the slide job right there. And that's what a few of them are trying to do. Is you see all the trucks coming out of that final corner sliding and slipping every way. Some trucks a little bit more control than the others, but that just shows you how much these trucks are going. And right now, and if I could get a little help from Marco right now, we have an off-track counter with SDK Gaming app, but it distracts the on-track stuff. And let's just see on how much these guys are really extending the limits of this track. We're at 13x, 19x right now. It's only 6 minutes into this race.
Yeah, this is probably the only time you'll see that without people getting disqualified each time, as we head back to the time delta now, as Fitzpatrick is now 5.6 seconds up the road from these two here, Churchill and Chadwick. Churchill, of course, in the AM class, Chadwick in the Pro, as they exit now the hairpin in the middle sector now, up and over the grass and over the unintentional jump on the inside over the escape road. Chadwick getting a little bit loose. Churchill couldn't quite get himself sorted out and cleaned up on the way in, and he has to stay behind once again. But let's have a look at these times as they come across the line. 1:11.7 from Sam Fitzpatrick. That is the fastest lap of the day, compared to a 1:12. He's 1.2 seconds a lap faster than anybody. Sam Fitzpatrick, once you turn he's pretty quick, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely found a lot of pace if you just completely throw the rule book out of the thing, which, you know, is totally okay when you're racing in this series, but he's also part of another truck series in Apex Racing League, the Apex Racing League NASCAR truck series, and hopefully he remembers track limits next time they race here. Thankfully, it's on an oval, so you pretty much know where you need to be in that series, so, you know, it fits Sam's criteria of I know the track limits.
Absolutely, yeah, as there is Sam taking his slider line this time.
Oh, there's Tom in front of him.
Ah, right, this could get a bit interesting then, with Tom Bingham and Sam Fitzpatrick, but Tom is a lap down this time. And he's throwing the slider line on him. He's trying to throw the slider line on him there, on the inside. And Tom, where's he disappeared to? Oh, he's a lap down. He's there. He's right there, actually. Sam's managed to throw a slider on him and completely catch him off guard. And Fitzpatrick now puts Tom Bingham 2 laps down after a pit stop, of course, and Sam with not even costing himself any time doing that. So good job from him. Chadwick with 12.7, breaking away from Mark Churchill in P3, 12.8 for Thompson, who runs in 4th, and but nobody's able to match the pace of Sam Fitzpatrick, who's now in the 1:11 up front. 9 minutes gone in this 15-minute heat race, and after this one, of course, the top 10 are inverted, which means the whole grid is reversed, and Tom Bingham will be on pole.
Yeah, Tom Bingham on pole for the heat number 3, and that's the one where he really wants to win it. He's got 1 heat win now, but this round 2 is definitely hurting him. And speaking of hurting, Chadwick actually grazed the K-rail apex of that corner right there. And here comes Sergio in 3rd place. He might get a surprise 2nd if he can do this. We got 5 minutes left here at Hockenheim Ring as they head into the arena section and into the Baja section right now. Over the jump they go. In the battle for 2nd place, Chadwick and Sergio.
Yeah, this is, you can see them now. Oh, look at this. Powell and Detweiler are still battling, and Powell's been unable to get past. Maybe now can he do it? No, Detweiler's got enough pace on the exit to keep his truck in front. So Detweiler's defending really nicely from Dean Powell right now, I must say. Even with the damage on the front end of that truck, it's not affecting him, it seems, in towards turn 1. Yeah, it could be, weight saving, so maybe some scrutineering about to go on after this race as they come into the braking zone again. Powell really late on the brakes, no way through. Detweiler closes the door and grips up again on the exit this time, but Powell, I don't think will quite have enough here. He's going to get the outside shown to him by Detweiler, but will he get the inside this time? He will. He's found a little bit of space, Dean Powell, and Detweiler's going to be in trouble here. He's going to have to shut the door. There's no way through, and again, he's not able to do it, but Dean Powell finds some traction. He's got him eventually. He's got him with the traction on the tarmac, and Dean Powell finally gets past Sebastian Detweiler after a great battle, after lap after lap after lap, and Powell finally makes it work, gripping it up on the inside there as Chadwick beginning to close up. Look at that. That gap between Fitzpatrick and himself has come down to 4.7 seconds, because I think Bingham is actually giving Fitzpatrick a little bit of trouble here.
Tom Bingham is racing Fitzpatrick right now. Fitzpatrick at a 1:14.5. Tom is actually giving Fitzpatrick a little bit of run for his money, and I think Fitzpatrick is not happy about that. But it's the only action he's seen this round so far. Tom, he might if he continues pressuring Fitzpatrick, Chadwick and Sergio might catch him in the final 4 minutes of this race. Let's watch Tom see what he might do. And we can see Tom, Tom's got a good run right here. And as I spoke to earlier right there, had a bad kick up. And Sam Fitzpatrick getting way crazy, getting off way into the apex and off into the grass, actually. And usually cars getting into the grass is a bad thing, but in these trucks, it's equivalent as kicking a coin in the parking lot. Completely uneventful. It makes a sound. Though it's not a ping, it's more gravel.
Yeah. Yeah, but we get where you're coming from, Austin. Right. But
it doesn't affect these trucks. That's what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't. No, not at all. And the thing is, Fitzpatrick, the problem he's got is that Bingham is well within his rights to unlap himself, but he's actually fallen off a little bit now. But now Churchill putting pressure on Chadwick now. He's closed the gap right up behind him now as he flings it into turn 1. Or, well, actually, that's not even turn 1. It's the inside of turn 1 rather than the actual corner itself. Chadwick way out onto the AstroTurf on the outside, going to absolutely fling it in versus Churchill being really smooth on the inside. He grips it up nicely for does Churchill here. He's going to have a run on Chadwick up towards the left-hander. That will switch to the right-hander, of course, the grassy right-hander that they've been using all night. Takes to the inside, just Chadwick. Churchill looks up the inside as they enter the grass section, but no way through just yet. For Churchill, he's going to have to be patient. As you can see, Fitzpatrick's opened the gap after 4.5 seconds, and Bingham has backed off to let him go, it seems. So that battle that was going on has ended. Tom Bingham, though, I think is going to be a little bit disappointed, but also he will have the pole for the last race of the night. And considering that he's even still driving after the huge roll he had, is a miracle. These trucks can take anything. Now 2 laps to go. Chadwick versus Churchill going to rage on, but Sam Fitzpatrick, this is his to lose as Bingham moves out of the way for both of them.
Yeah, moving out of the way for these two fighting right now. Chadwick and Sergio getting in the way by Tom, and I think Tom was giving Sam just a little bit too much action, and well, after Sam just completely left him in the dust and made him kick rocks, well, he's not even going to let that by. So we got a replay for us right now of Tom, and I think this is what happened at the start.
I think this is him just messing around here. He's kind of just flinging it about the place, Tom Bingham, and
yeah,
that's
buried by the car behind him, and that's what sent him into the wall.
Yeah, that is the results, and he went in a big way. Did Bingham? There's Bingham. Where's he going? Where's he going?
He's used the drag
unlapped himself.
He's used the drag strip cut, but now he's cut the course, and he's been disqualified.
Oh, Tom Bingham. I like the thinking, Tom Bingham. It just didn't quite work, did it? Right there. And now Sam Fitzpatrick takes the white flag out in the lead at the moment. But I'm sure they would have tried that cut. Bingham thought about it. He tried it. It didn't work.
We were talking about it in pre-race. We were talking about see if anyone's done it. And Tom Bingham, well, he's 2 laps down. He's 3 laps down now, so why not? White flag in the air with 1 second left on the clock, as it is last lap action here in the ARL Super Trucks League here in Hockenheim. Heat number 2 about to come to an end. Fitzpatrick on a 5-second lead. The battle on track right now is the battle for second place between Chadwick and Sergio. Zarchel just a little bit behind Chadwick. He's trying to make it another spot on the podium again in front of his home crowd. But Chadwick is really...
Watch out for the slider.
He's really got his eyes out for that slider. Are we going to be seeing that sword attempt? No.
No.
They're both going to be taking the line. Sam Fitzpatrick, he can take the regular line if he wants to, but he's just enjoying this right now. Checker flag is in there. Fitzpatrick goes a little bit wide and into the track. And if you, oh my God, that outside of the track is just completely dirty.
Sam Fitzpatrick takes the win.
I love iRacing's track evolution, how they carry dirt all over there. Look at this. We got a fight for 6th place. Powell and Roggenbuck. Alex Roggenbuck holding it outside of Powell. And it's going to be a drag race right there, but it's going to be Roggenbuck taking 6th place. Powell doesn't get off the engine right there, and he actually comes across the line at speed. Jackie Chalmers coming out of that final quarter. He's going to be coming across in 8th place. The front straight is just completely covered in dirt right now. I love it.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And yeah, so that brings us to the warm-up sections. The drivers get a little break, and so do we. And we're going to take this opportunity to, of course, say a big thank you to our sponsors. And we'll take a short ad break, and we'll be back in just a few moments on Apex Racing TV. Don't go anywhere.
And we are back for the ARL Super Trucks Championship. 2 action-packed heats were delivered to us, hot and steaming like a bratwurst over a nice charcoal pit. And Sam Fitzpatrick winning race number 2 ahead of Dave Chadwick, Mark Sergio, Andy Thompson, and Dean Powell, Alexander Rockenbach, Sebastian Deltweiler, Jackie Chalmers, and Tom Bingham. That was the results for race number 2. And now we look at it upside down because that is your grid. For race number 3, Tom Bingham will be starting up on pole position. And, well, after ending the race, well, on his side and lap, how did Alex get there?
Good question. I'm not exactly sure, but I think he was also trying to figure out how he ended up there as well by the time it took him to tow back to pit lane. But we get to see, with this reverse grid, Sam Fitzpatrick starting last and trying to make his way through as Chalmers has a big spin. How did it not hit the wall there? That was very close. And gonna get back going again. Oh, okay. It was almost cool.
You have to 3-point turn these trucks. You could do the clutch kick, but man, that dodge. These trucks do have a handbrake too. So they can't. You can't make it work like that. And I will be making a how to start a truck off the line very soon to give these guys the greatest opportunity. But it's just an amount of weight transfer. The truck sits super high. The weight's super at the back. So when they start, they just do this massive weight transfer wheelie at the front end. Well, they really just don't want to go. But when they go, they really go. They off the line, they're not as fast as a Formula V, but at the end of the straight, they are faster than a Formula V. So think of these as the Formula Vs or Mazdas of off-road racing. Very, very functional, very easy to drive and learn, and well, they can take a beating.
They really
can.
can.
These are the touring car of the off-road league. Since the Mazdas now, if you hit one into the wall, the wheel falls off.
Yeah, I think we can appeal to iRacing. Please don't add that damage model to these. But we see
I don't
now.
think they ever will.
Let's hope not. Tom Bingham on pole for the final race tonight, the feature race. Jackie Chalmers in P2, Sebastian Detweiler, Alex Rockenbach, Dean Powell, Andy Thompson, Mark Churchill, Dave Chadwick, and Sam Fitzpatrick bringing up the rear in P9. So now this race will be absolute chaos. Another 15-minute race as it has been throughout. We're just waiting for Mark Churchill to get himself onto the grid.
On board with Sam Fitzpatrick on this lap one.
I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Sam Fitzpatrick starting last, championship leader, the fastest man on the circuit. Here come the lights then for race 3 of the ARL Super Trucks Championship at Hockenheim Short A. Here we go away from the line. You can see they all bogged down. One doesn't get away. Rockenbach does not get away at all. He stalled it on the line. And now we head towards turn 1. It's a great start for Fitzpatrick. Already gets past 2. He's alongside Chadwick into turn 1 as they head through into turn 1. Chadwick on the inside line. Oh, big lugs for Chalmers in front. And Chadwick gets into the door of Fitzpatrick on the way through. They get into the door of each other each time. Now into the corner. Big roll over. Detweiler's over in the middle sector. Huge accident in the back. And Detweiler rolls the truck and ends up back in pit lane. As they go back now, Fitzpatrick already up to P5. Chasing after Jackie Chalmers in front. Chadwick still there on his inside as they come into the grassy section. And you can see Fitzpatrick using the outside line. He's trying to use the outside on Chadwick. Chadwick bogs down on the inside, grips it up on the rear. And Fitzpatrick goes all the way around the outside, which will switch to the inside. He's in front and up to P5. At the end, here comes the slider. Here comes the slider for Fitzpatrick. Trying to get underneath Chalmers. It's not going to quite work on Chalmers, but he will stay in front of Chadwick. Too narrow.
Chadwick on the exit, almost comes across onto the inside of Sam as they head into the ball hog line now. Bingham, Powell, Sergio, Chalmers, Fitzpatrick, your top 5. Thompson and Chadwick swapping spots. Chadwick went flying off the course right there, trying to get into the gravel and carrying a lot of speed onto the straight right now, but Bingham's got a 1.2 second gap to Powell right behind him. Powell's probably the luckiest person on track. He was right behind Detweiler's flip and roll off that SAR. Oh my goodness. And for one time, the truck leader does not murder that blue cone. Everybody else does. Big slide in front of Fitzpatrick. That's Jackie Chalmers getting a lot of smoke out there. There goes Sam. He's going to tip his hat and pass him right there, heading into 4th place. And now Sergio is in Sam Fitzpatrick's sights, and Sam is really charging it through here. Well, let's get a replay of that start from Sebastian Detweiler. What went wrong here?
Well, let's see. We're going to look at the starts to see, because we were watching on board with Sam Fitzpatrick. Away if they go from the line. It was a great start. Rockenbach just does not go. He absolutely stalled it off the line. He eventually gets going again. But Detweiler we saw flipping wildly. So he gets through turn 1. There he is on the outside. Chalmers on the inside.
Chalmers
big slide from Chalmers gets loose. I think I know what's going to happen here. There's big contact behind Detweiler's going to collect it by Chalmers. It was actually I actually think as well, he hooked his inside wheels onto the inside of the curb, which ended up rolling him anyway. He was going over anyway.
That's a good look right there, but there's no curb on that apex. There's no curb with a lip on that apex. That was completely Jackie just hooking him.
Fair enough, I'll look back on it later. But Bingham leads Powell, Churchill, Fitzpatrick, who gets he's in the 111s already, Sam Fitzpatrick. So he's absolutely flying up to the rear. And Powell trying to look up the inside of Bingham this time, half a second the deficit as they come around this next corner. Bingham's under some severe pressure. Dean Powell looking very quick, but Fitzpatrick is faster than all of them. There he is in the black and orange machine behind. You can see Chadwick and Chalmers battling it out here. Chadwick trying to keep Chalmers behind. Chalmers going to take the slider with the slider on the inside. Chalmers is going to carry it. It's just Chadwick on the outside. There's no way.
He's going to
way
drop
too narrow.
2 spots as Powell onto the inside of Bingham. Tom going for the wide line. Powell going on the 2 wheels right there. He was carrying so much turn angle into the pit lane that he was on 2 wheels for a second.
Very, very marginal from Powell there, and again 1:11.2 from Sam Fitzpatrick. How quick is this guy in P4?
Sam, calm down.
Well, you need to calm down, Sam. He's going to throw it up the inside of Churchill on the inside of the right-hander, trying to get up alongside, not able to grip it up on the grass right there. But Sam Fitzpatrick is far quicker than all these guys in front. At 1:11.2 is the fastest lap of the day so far, and nobody's dipped into the 1:10s just yet, but Sam might be the man to do it. Churchill trying to look up the inside of Powell as they come onto the grass section, rejoining on the tarmac as they come into the stadium for the 4th time on board with Sam Fitzpatrick. Will he go for the slider on this lap? I feel there's a slider coming from Fitzpatrick on this lap. He's thinking about it. No, he's not going to go for it this lap. He's going to be patient, stay behind. I think he wants a longer fight this time. 15-minute race, 10 minutes still to go. And Bingham still hanging on to the lead, though, as they come over the Baja section and hopping around. That's going to be wide from Bingham, though. Powell understing, and Fitzpatrick up the inside of Churchill in the background. And they're side by side through there, but Churchill is going to try hang on. Fitzpatrick's on his inside, though, as they come down towards turn 1. Bingham trying to go to the pit wall this time, and Churchill just about hangs on to P3, but for how much longer can he hang on?
It's going to be a big ask right now with 10 minutes remaining here. Bingham, Powell, Sergio, Fitzpatrick are top 4 of the fastest trucks in the field, and pretty much Fitzpatrick is just waiting for these guys to really get into a fight and take his pickings right now. Next race, I might hide all my sandwiches that I have in the back of his truck, though. Nobody tell Sam that. This guy's way too fast for these people. He's just in another league in pace alone, but he needs to get through them. It's one thing to be fast. It's one thing to get overtakes here. And it's one thing to do it while everybody doesn't have track limits to obey. Side by side in the arena. Here comes Sam Fitzpatrick with the slide job opportunity in for the lead. It's not going to happen as Sergio carries on around side. And here comes Powell on the inside of Bingham over into Baja. Heading into the final section, that hard left turn. Round the outside goes Bingham. Here comes Sergio on Powell. Sergio with the switchback, not going to work right there. Fitzpatrick is with them as well. And, oh man, that final Baja section should take such a wide line and still stay ahead because of how tight that final turn is. It's just so hard to find that right spot, and I wonder how much time these guys are actually practicing to find that optimum line.
Yeah, well, I need to even find some of the lines they've already gotten. Must have taken so much time just to find the tenths that you need to find to get yourself to the front of this league. It's so close, as you can see. Bingham's still in the lead, and it's a 4-car train for the lead at the moment. At the front here, Sam Fitzpatrick really nibbling away at the rear of Churchill right here. Out onto the gravel all the way goes Tom Bingham. He's on the defense here. Sam Fitzpatrick, does he go for the slider? Yes, he does. Slider on the way from Sam Fitzpatrick. Carries loads of speed this time, but still not able to do it. He's actually lost time doing that this time.
So
and Powell over the Baja
right.
takes the jump on the inside, but now you'll see Bingham will try to take that wider line this time. Powell with a much neater and tidier job, but again, Bingham is wise to it now. This is a game of cat and mouse with the different lines. Bingham's running the optimal line, but that slider line is not working as well for Sam Fitzpatrick in this race.
Did Sam just run in our YouTube chat?
No, well, that is a good point. How has he done that? That is the next question.
I think it's just waiting for these guys to make a mistake.
Well, he's making it interesting if he's doing that, which is really. I think it could be Samuel Kumo. That would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it be? As they come over the crest, and Sam Fitzpatrick nearly really making it interesting if he was writing in the YouTube channel. Well, that would be next level driving, but I don't think he's doing that at the moment. Bingham still just about hanging on against Dean Powell here as they come up into the hairpin once again. Does Sam go for the slider this time? No, he doesn't. He's using that outside line. He's wise to it now.
He's learned his lesson. He's going to have to make his attempts. He's going to have to go wide into Baja And speaking of going wide, that's what Powell's going to do into Baja right now. Bingham taking that tighter line that he was being fought against. And now here comes Powell onto that final corner, taking that speed and watch out for Powell on that exit. 4 tenths now, 3 tenths now, 2 tenths now, 1.5 tenths. He's going to be right on the bumper heading into turn 1. He's taking that early look. Powell looking on the inside of Bingham. He's going right onto the grass. Bingham now carrying the speed off the exit on Powell heading into turn 2. It was for sure a opportunity there for Powell, but Powell and Bingham, both of them, those different lines they took really benefited Bingham and Powell both beneficially as they're pulling away from Sergio and Fitzpatrick.
Brilliant stuff right there from these guys. They're racing so hard up the front. Fitzpatrick, you're trying to go on the outside of Churchill, trying to take that wide line on the tarmac as they come out. He's not made it work though. He's gone way too wide, understeered and nearly into the concrete wall. He's going to have to work harder to get back up to the rear of them again. Into the hairpin they go again. Bingham still leads this race. They haven't actually swapped positions at all really. It's remained as is as Fitzpatrick goes way out to the grass in the background. Going to try aggressively use that Baja section on the inside. He's found the line on Churchill
like a cruise missile.
Big impact to the side. And Churchill going to go around. Oh, whoa. Now Fitzpatrick, what have you done there? With a huge impact into the door. Marco Barbanera is screaming to disqualify that man after that impact. They nearly went into the pit wall behind Bingham now. Thompson's got up to Churchill now as well. Andrew Thompson gets through on Mark Churchill right there. Back to the front of the battle is now between Tom Bingham and Dean Powell up the front for the race. We have 5 minutes on the clock. These guys have been inseparable this whole race. Oh, that was a slowdown, I think, for Powell there as he comes out of the section right there. He has to back off and stay behind Tom Bingham. So not ideal from there. He's going to really try and get up underneath him there. But Bingham, I tell you what, is wise to every move anyone's trying.
Yeah, Bingham's definitely wise, but let's go back to Sam Fitzpatrick who came down there from 20, 30 car lengths back and straight into the side. Oh my goodness, Sam Fitzpatrick's probably going to be dealt with a race ban after that absolute murder. Look how far behind he is, and this carries so much speed and then completely with a lack for the 284, and he gets completely carved right there and almost makes contact with the pit lane. But that is so unfortunate for the 284 Mark Sergio, and who's probably got some choice words for Sam Fitzpatrick after this race, starting with you and then probably with a word that I will censor, and then another word that starts with an M.
Yeah, possibly, but I think Bingham and Powell should be worried though, because Sam is really catching them very, very fast. There he is in the background, 2 seconds off the rear. Bingham and Powell still together, and Tom Bingham is still trying to hang on for a race win as Powell looks up the inside, but still no way through. The inside is not quite the optimal line. You're not able to carry the speed in the same way, but Sam Fitzpatrick is bringing the gap down really fast here. Too much grip up from Bingham on the exit of the corner right there, and he has to now, as Powell goes for the slider on the inside, on the grass this time. He's not going to be able to do it this time. Surely just nearly does it, but not quite, and loses crucial momentum.
You need to go wide on the exit.
Yeah, he needs that wide line. Fitzpatrick now is already on the rear. You'll see him appear on the inside. Fitzpatrick with so much speed carried in right there, and he's back in the lead battle as they come across the line to begin lap 11 in this race. 12 minutes gone in this race. Another 3 laps of action coming up.
I know we had custom cameras made for this series and made for this track right there. I don't think any of us imagined that they were going over that jump, because if we did, we would have made a jump cam.
Absolutely, yeah. We need a jump cam, and the man who makes them is the man in third in Sam Fitzpatrick. So I'm sure we need a proper static jump cam right there.
Alton
I'm
Park,
sure.
You know, Sam, next week this is your payback for just murdering Sergio.
Yeah,
make us a jump cam.
Make us a jump cam, Sam Fitzpatrick, as they come round again. Still Tom Bingham in the lead. He's led every lap of the race so far. and he's under some severe pressure from the cars behind in Dean Powell and Sam Fitzpatrick. And Bingham has already taken a heat race win tonight. How would he like to take a feature race when Dean Powell trying to go for his first? And Fitzpatrick, there he is in the 133 with a big send up the inside, and he's going to try to take the lead from Bingham. He slides up, tries to get past Dean Powell. Dean's not giving him an inch though as they come out to the exit of the corner. 2 laps to go here in Hockenheim. Powell with the run stays in front, but tell you what, Fitzpatrick is dangerous with that line on the inside. He's carrying speed through turn 1, keeping it flat all the way out to the mat on the outside. Looks to the inside with a big lunge on the inside, and the Cohen gets murdered for the umpteenth time tonight. But Fitzpatrick still not able to get through on the inside. He'll only have 1 more lap to do it next time by.
I'm surprised he didn't slow down for that attempt, but man, Sam Fitzpatrick putting all on the line right now. We got 2 laps left, 1 minute left on the clock right now. With track times heading into the 111, Sam Fitzpatrick last time. He's looking up onto the inside of the 124 of Powell. Powell and Fitzpatrick, are we going to be seeing the Sam Fitzpatrick slide jump? No, we're going to be seeing from Powell. Powell's going for the slide jump on Fitzpatrick, which we've seen doesn't work. Fitzpatrick around the outside. He's up in a second. And now we're back into the championship fight of Fitzpatrick versus Bingham. Fitzpatrick coming in once again like a Christmas of Bingham around the outside. It's white flag this time by Bingham. Fitzpatrick, who's it going to be?
It's just like last week, but roles reversed. Last week it was Bingham chasing Fitzpatrick. Now it's Fitzpatrick chasing Bingham for the win. Over the inside of turn 1, Fitzpatrick all the way out to the runoff. On the outside, going to try cut back up underneath with a big lunge. No way through. Bingham's wise to it on the inside, but this is going to go right down to the wire between Bingham and Sam Fitzpatrick, the 2 championship contenders at the head of the pro field as they come down towards the grassy section right now. It's still Bingham with the advantage. Fitzpatrick is trying absolutely everything to get through. There's no way through in this corner this time. Really good driving from Tom Bingham, but now Fitzpatrick closes up on the rear. Will he go for the slider? I sense a slide job coming from Sam Fitzpatrick on this lap. Does he go for it this time? No, he's going to wait. It's going to be a last lap overtake, last corner overtake, maybe. Here they come towards the Baja section. Really close between the both of them now. Fitzpatrick looks for the inside line for Fitzpatrick. Looks to the inside of the last corner. Side by side contact by Bingham. He's going to turn him. He's going to turn him. Here comes Powell.
Here comes Powell out the exit. It's going slow as turtles. Powell coming out the exit. Powell's got the speed, but it's going to be a drag race at the speed of Turtle. Fitzpatrick by a nose.
What on earth was that in the last corner? Bingham led every single lap of the race and gets tagged around by Sam Fitzpatrick, who wins by 7/100ths of a second coming through the last corner. Let's get a replay of that once again.
Watch that from Powell. We got to see that from Powell's angle. Look how far Powell was going. He was going much wider, and he was like, I'm just going to watch this happen. They're both defending onto the inside of Narnia right there, and once Powell saw that he got tagged, he was just going to go wide. He saw the opportunity, shot the moon, and just got a little bit of a tag right there. Sam Fitzpatrick was so lucky right there that this straight was just that short, or else he would have lost that heading into turn 1. Sam Fitzpatrick driving like a Jericho missile or something. I think he's getting absolutely what he deserves right now, bullied by everybody else. Hashtag blame Sam.
Yeah, Marco really enjoyed that one from Alex Roggenbuck right there. The engine's blown. He's been rolled over multiple times. Fitzpatrick wins the feature and takes an even bigger lead in the championship. And Tom Bingham got a feel for him. He did everything right there. There is the final result. Sam Fitzpatrick wins race number 3 by 6/100ths of a second over Dean Powell. Tom Bingham 3rd, Mark Churchill in 4th. Dave Chadwick, Andrew Thompson, Alex Roggenbuck, Jackie Chalmers, and Sebastian Detweiler, who did not finish the race. But once again, ARL Super Trucks is craziness. 9 trucks we had tonight, and we had even more action than we had last week. And on the last corner, last lap, desperate attempts, desperate overtakes from everybody. And, well, that's exactly what we want. This series is all about the fun, but, wow.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that race. Well, these 3 races have absolutely just heated up in intensity all the way to the very climax. And now we all get to breathe, especially me. and just relax for a little bit. Next week, we're heading to Alton Park, the international circuit, and you know that one has some chicanes in there. How bad are those chicanes going to be abused, are we thinking?
Well, we all know that there's a tire stack on that
But you can
chicane.
move them.
But they are movable, yes. So expect the tire bale to go flying on lap number 1 into the trees somewhere, and somebody to end up upside down somewhere. Well, we saw that multiple times tonight, but there you go. We have 3 of our drivers standing by, and we're going to have a chat with our race 3 race winner. We're going to drag Sam in for a quick chat. Sam joins us in the box. Sam, once again, you got severe boos from Marco Barbonera for some of that tonight, but
And a few of the other drivers.
And a few of the other drivers. But listen, a brilliant job once again. Great racing, hard racing. Talk us through it.
Yes, this circuit, I did some testing earlier on in the week around this track, and it came apparent very quickly that slowdowns do nothing around this track. Cutting the entire stadium section, for example, you get like a half-second slowdown, which obviously you don't have to serve because you're on four dots on it still going down. So we kind of had to make our own circuit tonight. I was a bit concerned it would be a little bit rubbish because there's no like corners, but it turned out to be very good. I thought that was very entertaining from where I was sitting.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that last lap, last corner stack up, because we've now nicknamed that last corner the Baja section because we've ended up with a jump and huge amounts of different lines going on, but that almost ended pretty badly in the last corner. You only managed to win it by 6/100ths of a second. That could have been pretty scary.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I was thinking behind Tom going onto that last lap. I was thinking, okay, I won't catch Zach's corner because that's what I did. Thinking race 1 to try to come back. I thought, okay, I'll wait for it because Tom tends to take a very wide line there, so I thought I could go up the inside. But on that lap, he took a slightly tighter line. And I'm looking back at the instant, and I'm not sure if it was my fault or not. I totally understand. Apparently, Marco thinks it was all my fault. But I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I'll let other people make their decision. And if the stewards may well give me a penalty for that one. I wasn't quite sure though because like I was going up to the run to the line, and if I was sure, I would have let Tom back past. But it was if Tom feels like it was my fault, I'll give him up the place. Maybe next time out to pay back the favour.
Well, he may take you up on that. We'll have to wait and see. But we saw kind of throughout the race the different lines developing. We saw particularly in that in the hairpin in the stadium section, a lot of guys taking that grassy line on the inside, the slider line we call it. But it seemed to sort of develop into a slower line throughout the race. So it was interesting to see. Even if you're using off tracks and not using the track at all, there's still track development going on.
Yeah, I was trying it through Sachs, and actually in qualifying, in practice, it seemed like it was a bit faster through there. But I think, I mean, it was marginal, and you saw me try it a couple of times in race 3, and it didn't seem to quite work. I think if you nailed the cut through at that hairpin, then it was faster. But I think most of the time it was a bit slower. It was also a good tactical move if you were trying to go for an overtake on someone, use it almost as a bit of a positioning marker. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure on that one, honestly, but it was fun because yeah, that was the one corner which I wasn't cutting around the entire circuit. That was the one corner I was actually on tarmac for some of. So that was a nice little tactical play from a few of the drivers.
Absolutely, yeah. And well, we've got Alton Park International next week. We've been talking about the chicane, so well, we know it's not going to exist, but I think I don't think that tire bale is going to last too long.
Well, the tire bale's made out of like cast iron, I think, so I don't think it can be moved. So I think if you skim that in these cars, you flip, because I think iRacing registers like the tire driving up the like the tire bales, and so expect a few flips around there. if we're not careful. At the same time, we might just be able to skip it and not serve the slowdown. I don't know. I'll have to do some testing. But I think that one will be a bit better because I don't think it'll be as easy to cut the track. I think there'll be a few areas where you can cut slightly, like turn 1, for example. But the vast majority of the circuits, I think the grass on the inside of each corner is very cambered, so it might not be anti-cambered, so it might be a bit tricky. So that'll be interesting. I think a lot of testing will need to go into that one.
Yep.
We request a jump cam if there is a jump line being implemented. So please, that's
that
a
might be
punishment for
possible
murdering
there.
2 people in the final course. So if we do get a jump line, please give us a camera for that.
I'll do what I can. And then Brands Hatch and Long Beach might have one of them. Maybe the fountain section at Long Beach. I think that might be a bit of a jump. So yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be an attempt of a jump. If somebody makes a fountain jump at Long Beach, like jumps the complete fountain, not just the flower pot area, but the complete fountain, I will give you $20.
Right. Well, everyone who's in the chat is a live witness to that statement from Austin Knight. So he could lose a lot of money. But anyways, Sam, before we let you off, anyone you'd like to give a quick thank you to?
Thank you to the other competitors. I feel like public enemy number 1 at the moment, to be honest. Or it might. So, it's all right. I can be the pantomime villain. It's a fine thing. But no, thanks to the other judges for making it so much fun. Of course, anyone watching along who wants to take part, do certainly do so. You can sign up at apexracingleague.com. Thanks to all the Performance Link guys for making this fun. I think there was 5 of us chatting in Discord during the races, so they made it a lot more fun. And apologies to anyone who I made contact with. Hopefully the rest of the season is good fun.
Well, Sam, congratulations on the victories tonight, and we will see you hopefully at Alton Park.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And also thanks to you guys for doing a great job.
Thank you, Sam. So, that was Sam Fitzpatrick and Austin. Well, you've got 2 other Apex Racing TV guys standing by, so you've got your pick of the bunch.
Yeah, I gotta go with Tom. Race 1 winner. Race 2, he finished upside down the wall at the end of lap 1. The race 3, I feel like he might have some choice words to say about race number 3, finishing in 3rd place. Tom, how was that race? How was your day? How was this entire round summed up into a few words?
In a few words, just loads of fun. Like, winning is obviously awesome, but I don't feel bad about race 2 or race 3, really. It's I'm having so much fun. It's just it's the best series I've ever raced in, just for the sheer enjoyment of, going door to door and trying to kill your fellow competitors.
Is it getting a little bit like Mad Max in here, and are you kind of cursing the inability to put spikes on the side of your cars?
Yeah, I wish I had some spikes, or even Mad Max's little supercharger on a button. That would be great. But no, the series is just so much fun, and the earlier race 2 getting put on my side, it's just one of those things, isn't it? But the battles with Sam and Dean was really quick actually in race 3. I was struggling to stay away from him. But the slipstream is so strong in these trucks that even if you get a bit of a lead, you're done for. You can just reel someone in so quickly. It makes for really competitive, fun racing.
Next round, we're headed to Alton Park International. Are you going to be doing a lot of testing to find the optimum non-line out there? I don't know how you practice unlearning a track.
You don't. That's a stupid thing, and then you don't know until you go in the official practice and and go around with everybody to find out what the optimum line is.
In race, giving us a little bit of insight. He said he is doing some testing, so I think you might need to.
Yeah, well, I want to beat Sam. I can't have him, pipping me at the post in every race. God damn it. So, but good fun, and it was, it's hard racing and everything. And I thought Dean might take Sam actually in race 3. It was looking really close, but yeah, Sam just he has that magical way of sneaking in at the end.
Speaking of sneaking, in race 2, we saw you attempt the drag strip cut. Did you get a massive slowdown penalty or disqualification when we saw you park up immediately after there when you unlapped yourself doing that?
Yeah, no, I I was just sort of having fun drifting the whole track, trying to see if I could link some drifts, and then I saw the open gap between the tires. I thought, I'll try it, go through, but I'd hit the wall, I think, a little bit earlier. My car was steering really sideways, so I went through, but I thought, I don't want to get in anybody's way, really, so I'll jump back to the pits. But I think I've like double lapped myself now, so I won't get any points for that, but it's all fun. It's no biggie.
So what you're saying is you didn't get a slowdown for that, and everybody here missed an amazing opportunity to get a sub-minute lap time.
I did mention it to everybody, and there was a slight pause where everyone thought about it for a second, but yeah, nobody was brave enough to try it. I think you'd get a penalty. That'd be the only time you could get a penalty in this series.
Well, you heard it here first. Missed opportunities. We'll see you next time around here when everybody cuts the drag strip time in season 2.
Yeah, cheers guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, Tom. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, just want to thank all the guys at Performance Link. Thank you guys for commentating. I watched last week's stream back, and I haven't laughed so hard in my entire life. It was awesome.
I think you're gonna laugh some more.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. So I want to thank my wife because she'll kill me if I don't. And yeah, just want to thank anybody else that knows me.
And I'm pretty sure they're happy for your results today, especially your wife. And you have a good day.
Yeah, cheers, guys. See ya.
Yep. Jack, you're standing by with Andrew Thompson.
The final piece of the puzzle. Andrew Thompson hops in with us for a quick chat. Andy, you said before that you were going to cause a massive pile-up in turn 2, but somebody else did the job for you, it seems, in race 3. How was your day?
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, and unfortunately I got sort of hit in race 1 and 2 that sort of put me down the field. And the problem with these cars, as soon as you get hit and lose all your speed, with everyone else going so fast, you lose so much time trying to get yourself back up there. But nah, whoever thought that I'll be taking them sort of lines around Hockenheim in a car on iRacing, not me anyway. So nah, I enjoyed it. It was really good fun, and it's good to unwind from the week.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. So many different lines being run throughout the race. Some we've probably never ever seen before, probably never see again unless we run the series again. But Alton Park next week, the international layout. Again, a little bit different. It's getting different tracks every single week. We thought this one was going to be boring, and it surprised us. So, what's Alton Park going to be like, do you think?
Well, Alton Park's probably my favourite track on iRacing. I'm not too bad in a GT3 car, but it'd be a brand new experience in one of these things, and I'll have to see what corner cutting and the fastest line is. But I just look forward to this every single Friday. It's such good fun, and with a good bunch of guys that we've got in there. The racing's hard but fair ultimately, and if someone does make a mistake, they hold their hands up and say, "Look, sorry," and it is what it is. And yeah, no, it's a really good series. Really enjoyed it. Good racing, that's for sure.
Yeah, that seems like we're looking in the YouTube channel. It looks like we're getting more and more trucks on the grid every single week in this series. Couple more drivers I think we're going to get next week. But Andy, before we let you off, is there anyone would like to give a quick thank you to?
Just my guys at Performance Link Esports. Obviously, you guys for making it such a brilliant broadcast last week. Look forward to watching this one back and seeing you have heart attacks and laughing your heads off.
Probably going to need some
earplugs. It's yeah. Just and to Sam, we're having a good laugh actually and fighting against my ARL team admin, but he seems to be a little bit quicker than me, so I'll give him a shout out. His one and only shout out. But yeah, so the rest of the guys of Performance Link Esports, yeah, that's about it.
Brilliant. Well, Sam has already admitted he's already public enemy number 1 with a lot of people, it seems. But
yeah, he's got a mark on his back now.
Yeah, he's becoming definitely a marked target for future rounds. But listen, Andy, thanks a million for hopping in with us, and we'll chat to you next week at Alton Park.
Yeah, cheers guys. Have a good one.
So that was Andrew Thompson, the final driver we've had a chat with tonight. But Hockenheim, we didn't know what to expect coming into it. Boy, were we surprised. And really, the birth of a new section, the Baja section at Hockenheim. Who would have thought?
I don't think anyone would have thought of any. I don't even think Hockenheim was just like, yes, this is now the Baja section, and I'm at a loss for words, honestly, on how these guys find these lines. Yes, there's a massive... we were expecting people to go there, but we were not expecting people to use it like that. Next track is Alton Park, and everybody has Alton Park. Free track on iRacing. It's the international circuit. I'm looking at the circuit map right now. We've been talking about the chicanes. We heard Sam say you might not even get a slowdown chicane. If you don't get a slowdown chicane right there, I think Fernando Alonso might say it's a complete joke. The 5 seconds, what a joke. If that is the case. So Britain's hill stop might get a bit cut and might get a bit wild, and also sector 1, turns 2 and 3 has that big downhill option. We might see turn 2 be cut into a jump and then a wide exit out of Cascades, heading into Lakeside and Island Bend. The exit might get extended into the giant banked corner of Shell's oil. I almost said snake oil. And the other corner I can really see is Druids getting cut pretty well. And Lodge corner, that's a fairly tight corner, so expect that exit to get very dirty as they all head out of turn 16 there. And it's going to be... Alton Park's already a very fast circuit as it is. I feel like these trucks... Are we going to be seeing a cut minute of some minute here?
Well, I think it's certainly possible. I've sort of a little bit disappointed that we're not running the short layout of Alton Park, because if you remember, out of turn 2, you could basically just call the rest of the lap flat out. If you just came out of turn 2, flick to the right, and suddenly you're in the chicane, heading back up the hill again. But nonetheless, we still have that big, long, straight, banked corners, and it's going to be so much fun. No matter what track these super trucks go to, it's going to be brilliant. Do not miss next week. I think we're going to have some more signups after that tonight.
We're definitely going to have some signups, but we already have some dedicated fans of the ARL Truck Series. Some Apex Racing TV regulars just like, this is the most fun I've ever had watching a ARTV broadcast. It's even more fun on track, so if you want to try your hand at the ARL Super Trucks League, sign up at ARL, Apex Racing League Super Trucks, and go to our link in the description and you'll find more information about the series. But if you enjoy sitting in the stands and watching, cheering on these crazy people cut the track as many times as they want, you're free to do that. Thank you everybody for joining us here for the ARL Super Trucks Series. I've been joined by Jack with Marco Bobineri in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.